morning. Today we're going to talk about the components of an atom. The reason we're doing this is we're going to start our exploration of chemistry, and in order to do so we need to actually be able to talk about the parts of the atom and what some of the numbers and letters mean. The first part of the atom is the nucleus, and the nucleus is the center part of the atom that has the protons and neutrons in it. We have the atomic symbol. You'll know them as one capital letter, sometimes followed by a lowercase letter. That is an individual symbol that represents each element. Atomic number is the smaller number associated with an element. That is the number of protons, and the mass number, it's the weight of an atom, which is the protons and neutrons added together. Next, we're going to talk about atomic theory. Atomic theory is the basis of modern chemistry, and it says everything is made of atoms. And the atoms themselves are composed of individual parts. Protons give an element its sense of identity, while neutrons combined with protons give it its mass. And electrons determine how it bonds to other elements. Protons have a positive charge. They have one atomic mass unit, and they give the nucleus a positive charge. The individual configuration of protons gives an element its unique characteristics. Neutrons have no charge. They also have one atomic mass unit, and they provide stability. All protons are actually repelling each other, so putting a neutron in between them helps stabilize them. And depending on the number of neutrons and their configuration with protons, it will stabilize large elements, or if you take them away or add too many, destabilize it in the case of many of the radioactive elements. Lastly, we have electrons. Electrons have a negative charge. They do have mass, but it's, for our purposes, so small we're not going to consider it right now. They float around in a cloud outside the nucleus. Because of this, they can interact with other atoms, and their negative charge repels atoms from each other. Electrons determine the reactivity of elements. An element is everything with the same atomic number or number of protons. Elements have a lot to do with individual properties, bonding properties, and general characteristics of the atom. Isotopes have the same number of protons, i.e. atomic number, but they have different mass numbers since they have different numbers of neutrons. These different strains of the same element are called isotopes, and they can look slightly different and they can have different properties. For example, on top is uranium-235 and on the bottom is uranium-238. The stuff up top explodes. The stuff on the bottom is much less dangerous, and it's quite a bit heavier too. This is called isotope notation, also sometimes called AZN notation. Now you'll notice a lot of the things we've already talked about. First of all, this is the atomic symbol. When you're reading isotope notation, the letters are always the element, and you can check the periodic table to see what element it is. Next, we have two numbers. Now usually you'll see the bottom number is smaller than the top number, though sometimes they can be flipped. What's important is to understand the smaller number is the atomic number. The mass number is the bigger number. By the way, if they're the same, then the mass number, atomic number are the same. Usually it means it just doesn't have neutrons. If you want to find the number of neutrons on an isotope, simply subtract the big number, the number of protons and neutrons, by the number of protons, atomic number. In this case, the mass number is 4, being 4 protons and neutrons, and the atomic number is 2, being 2 protons. Subtract 2 from 4, we have 2 neutrons. If you have any questions, here's our emails. Thank you and have a good day.